Hey there Bristles, so in this video I'm going to be painting for the first time on my channel some Middle-earth strategy battle game miniatures. This isn't my first time attempting to paint such miniatures. When I was but a wee lad and the movies Lord of the Rings first came out, Games Workshop released some magazines that came with free miniatures. Well, I suppose not technically free, but magazines with how to play, how to build and how to paint guides and little tidbits of lore and information regarding their tabletop game, Middle-earth strategy battle game. So myself and my nephew, already being fans of Warhammer and now new fans of Lord of the Rings at the time. We hadn't read the books, but the movies had started coming out and we loved them. Anyway, so with this game was perfect for us, and we were super excited, and with fearless, reckless abandon we dove straight in with our lack of experience, and we didn't care how those models look. We got them painted and played some games and we had a blast, regardless of how they looked. And that is something that I think I've lost over the years, that fearlessness when it comes to painting, because now every time I get a miniature, I am hesitant to pick up a brush and put it near it, just in case I ruin this expensive model. So that's kind of increased when it comes to Middle-earth strategy battle game, because if you are not aware, they are smaller than regular miniatures produced by Games Workshop. And that's just, you know, it makes it harder if it's smaller. It's harder to paint things that are smaller. I do apologise for my voice as well if it's cracking and breaking a little bit. I am recovering from bronchitis, so my voice is still kind of strained. But yeah, how do I intend to get over this barrier, this mental blockade of, you know, just being afraid to paint, being intimidated by these miniatures? Well, I'm going to make it easy on myself, and I'm going to start off with some of possibly the easiest models to paint that Games Workshop may have ever produced, and that is of course the Dead of Dunharrow. I have these miniatures for quite some time and still haven't painted them, so it's a long time since I engaged with Middle-earth strategy battle game. I started trying to engage again when the Battle of Pelennor Fields box set came out. I was gifted it for Christmas. I built everything in it and I primed it with grey and then did nothing with it. Then the Battle of Osgiliath box came out. Again, I got it at Christmas. I built a ruined building, and started building Faramir, and just left it alone then because I probably got distracted by something else. And then this year, or last year, kind of the end of last year, I got really excited because they were making an anime movie based on Lord of the Rings. I'm a fan of anime. I'm a fan of Lord of the Rings, so I'm very excited. I got the War of the Rohirrim box set for Christmas. I'm so hyped, I cannot wait. And then I see the movie. I don't know how many of you may feel about this movie. Please let me know your opinion down in the comments. I'm not going to spend a video crapping on this movie. No offense to anybody who worked on it. I understand how much work goes into an animation and how hard it was. Anyway, my disappointment with the movie killed my hype for the box set. So yet again, I abandoned Middle-earth strategy battle game without even getting started. But now I really want to try getting into it. There's new stuff announced this past weekend coming out. Prince Imrahil and the Armies of Middle-earth book, along with a load of other things returning to the range. So to make things easy for myself, to get over that intimidation of the models, I'm going to start easy and just smack around some paint on the Dead of Dunharrow. And that's what this video is going to be about. So that's enough waffling from me, and enough negativity regarding the movie. Let's be positive and let's get some miniatures painted so that we can finally play this game. Yeah, let's go. Of course, for starters, we need to prime our miniatures. So I've used Mechanica Standard Grey here, I believe. It's quite some time since I primed it, so I'm 99.9% sure that's what I've used. Anyway, moving on, going to take some Cabalite Green, and I'm going to cover the bottom section of the miniatures with this, making sure to get it into the recesses. I'm not really too concerned about full coverage on the raised surfaces as long as it's in the recesses, and as well as the lower part of the model, I am making sure to work it into all the recesses of the face because I want it to be more defined. And then the next color is actually, I forget now, Sybarite Green. So I'm applying this while the Cabalite, sorry if you can hear me checking my paints in the background. So while the first color, the Cabalite Green, is still wet, I am applying the Sybarite Green and somewhat blending it on the raised surfaces anyway, and leaving it alone in the recesses. And then when it comes to like some of the places, I am letting the paint dry a bit more, such as the face, because I don't want to get into the detail too much there, and it's more of an overbrush on the face. On this one guy, I thought I would try and do it a little closer to the color combinations that I use for my Night Haunt, and I tried using some Sotek Green. I'm not happy with it, so I'd ignore this for now, but if you like it, you feel free to use that darker color at the bottom. But here we go. Adding the Cabalite Green and then the Sybarite Green, and kind of wet blending it and making sure we get full coverage into the recesses, primarily the recesses, because the next step, I'm going to take some Celestra Grey and I'm going to just heavy dry brush this all over the entire miniature. So we want to make sure we get all the surfaces, all the raised surfaces, except for the recesses. And because of the way we've done the first layers, the recesses will have this nice blend of this ghostly glow from beneath. It'll be darker at the bottom and in the face, so the darkness on the face to push the contrast a little, so some of those features like the eye sockets stand out. And then you're going to take a white and do a dry brush with that, focusing on the center line down the middle of the model and on the face. Now, the paint I'm using here at the moment is from the Nostalgia color by Warcolor, and it is Skull White. Unfortunately, this is the end of my paint pot, and to be honest, retrospectively, it's not working out that great. You'll see now further on in the video I switched to using Dead White by Vallejo, and aptly named, excellent. And to be honest, I've been using this white as my go-to white of choice for the past few weeks since I first picked it up and tried using it. I'm really happy with it and will be investing in some more Vallejo very soon. So on a couple of models, well, for the majority of the models I just left it here, but on a couple of other ones I tried a few different things. One of them, which I just showed, I just covered it with some Nihilic Oxide to try and bring it more into that blue tone. Then the next one I showed you, I use Athonian Athonian Camo Shade on the bottom, and then Briar Queen Chill on the top. And then the next one I use Athonian Camo Shade on the bottom and Nihilic Oxide on the top, and I do like it. But with those shades, while they're still wet, I kind of blend them together where they meet. But you know, I lose a little bit of the punch on the highlights and the raised surfaces there that I've done with the dry brush, and I decide to go back on these and just pick out some of the parts of the model that I really want to stand out a bit more, and that really need that kind of definition of a highlight, and I just picked them out with a brush and the Dead White that I mentioned before. So I tried these out on these few models. I quite like most of them. It's really hard for me to not just lean into using Athonian Camo Shade on ghostly models, because I really like the look it gives. It's like this kind of gritty, dirty look,
while still being like ghostly. These are still apparitions. It kind of reminds me of Elden Ring for some reason. I think it's because it's like a tarnished look, if you will. Oh, you loser. But yeah, you get what I mean. So on this one in particular, I think this is the one with the Nylic Oxide and the Athonian Camo Shade. And I go over the white highlights there, and I really like how that turned out. This guy is just one of the regular guys who has nothing added to him. Oh wait, no, that's a lie, sorry. This is the guy with just Nylic Oxide, and I go over him with some white again, and I mean, he's kind of boring looking. It didn't really make him stand out from the rest of them, so I don't think that one was worth doing. So here's those three side by side, and then for the one that I've singled out to be I don't know, the leader of the group, even though there isn't actually one, this guy here, I've actually just highlighted him up. I haven't done anything with him, haven't added any washes to him as of yet, but I've just highlighted him up, and using a fine tip brush and that dead white, I pick out a lot of most of the raised areas, spending a little bit more time on this guy just because I wanted to. So making those highlights a bit more punchy. Maybe if I dry brushed with the dead white in the first place, the highlights would have had that punch from the get-go, but here we are. And now I'm going to take this foul green. Just a second, I need to check who recommended this paint to me on Instagram. I'll be right back. So yeah, on Instagram, the name of the artist is CHK Minis. If you're on Instagram and you follow good painters, you probably already follow him. But on his, the Goblin Wolf riders for Age of Sigmar, the big chunky guy with the sun icon on his back. Yeah, this artist used this color. It's really well covering kind of teal on as the base for the metals on that model, and I really liked it, so I just hit them up. I asked what paint it was, and they told me it was this Vallejo one, and I adore it. It covers so well, and it's so punchy. I just love it, and it's also happens to be one of my favorite colors in general anyway. Not specifically this brand one, but anyway, I thinned that down and I put this into some of the deeper recesses and gradually less thinned down versions of it into the deeper recesses, just for a bit of higher contrast. And then I come back with the Cabalite Green in some areas where I want to have a bit more darkness in the recesses and thin that down. So a few bits there around the cloaks, around the face, and then lower down on the sword, right next to the hilt and on the pommel. And I'm really happy with this guy. I love how this looks. I will probably revisit the rest of the unit with this method, with the fell green and the Cabalite Green, and go over it. Or I might decide somewhere down the line after playing with them and looking at them a bit longer to do the rest of them with some of that Athonian Camo Shade. We'll see. Here's the beauty shots of how they're looking. I'm really happy. There's also going to be some pictures here, so don't click away, of some other models that I've decided to try and get started with as a result directly of the excitement of getting these finished. So I tried a first test model for a Rohan model. It's still a work in progress, and I also decided to start painting Aragorn. He's still a work in progress, but I'm really happy with him. Just before you click away from the video, I'm about to have a really impassioned, positive chat about Middle-earth strategy battle game and getting models done, and I think it's going to be really good to see, and just I want to put that positive energy out there, so don't click away, just watch till the end. Yeah.
Okay, Bristle, so that's my Dead Men of Dunharrow, my Warriors of the Dead finished. I'm actually so happy. It's not the best paint job, but having them done is such a better feeling than, you know, struggling through getting them done to like a fantastic display level, because it's a simple paint job, but they still look great, especially with their bases done. And now I can't wait to play with them, and I'm so excited and emboldened to try painting something a little bit more complicated, and one of the other many factions of Middle-earth strategy battle game that I actually want to try. So I have the stuff that I've already mentioned that I have. I have some other things that I was gifted, like the Balrog versus the Khazad-dûm scene with Gandalf, You Shall Not Pass. And then also a friend of mine was clearing out some old miniatures and gave me a ton of old Lord of the Rings figures, including a Khazad-dûm dwarf army, some elves, Elrond and Rivendell elves, and a load of Isengard stuff. I have some old what are they called, Uruk-hai scouts. I'm really excited to make an Uruk-hai scout party, which that's one of the things that I'm really looking forward to. I'm really excited about Gothmog miniature, the plastic one that came out with the Battle of Osgiliath, so maybe I'll paint that next. I also have, over the past 2 years or so, been slowly picking up some of the models required for the Quest of the Ring Bearer supplement book, which I have. I don't have all the miniatures I need for that, but I have. I've been working through each scenario to try and get them so that I can maybe organize some games with some, you know, I have some friends and family who aren't particularly interested in the hobby, but they are fans of Lord of the Rings, and we annually have a Lord of the Rings watch party, which is something that I look forward to every year around Christmas time. And maybe I can convince some of them to like play the game if I have these miniatures painted for them to use. Who knows, could be getting my hopes up. But I'm definitely going to try and find some people locally to try and play some games of Middle-earth strategy battle game now. And you know, it just goes to show you, look at how excited I am. Things don't have to be perfect. They could be done and look fantastic, in that it being done in its own right is a level of completion that is pleasing to look at, and I'm really happy to put on the table. So, you know, your models don't have to be perfect for you to have a good time with them or to have fun painting them. I got like those 20 ghosty boys done in one afternoon painting, like 2 maybe 3 hours to paint them, and then like an hour or 2 this evening basing them, and they're done. And you know, I don't need much else for them. They do need a hero. I don't have the new plastic King of the Dead. I really want to get him and put more effort into him, as he is a hero character and it's not a full unit. So, you know, I'll probably make a video when I do eventually get him. For now, I do have some old metal heroes like Aragorn, Legolas and Gimli. I don't have the new Tree Hunters set, but it's on the list of things to acquire. But yeah, I'll probably paint up an Aragorn or something to go with the Dead Boys so I can play a game soon. Anyway, you can probably tell I'm really excited. I'm really happy. So keep tuned in. Like the video, hit the notification button if you want to see more Middle-earth strategy battle game stuff in the future. I can't guarantee my next video directly after this will be Middle-earth strategy battle game, but I will be pursuing this because it gives me a great sense of achievement and joy, and it's a franchise, a story that I'm really passionate about and I really enjoy. So yeah, if you enjoy it too, come along for the ride. I am hoping in the future to start doing battle reports on the channel, so maybe I'll do some Middle-earth ones too. I don't know, I'm really excited and anything is possible. Anyway, enough of me being silly and overexcited. Look after yourselves, look after each other, and come back. I'm just really happy. I finally have some Middle-earth strategy battle game figures painted, and they look great, even though it was really simple. And I'm not as afraid to tackle some of the more complicated stuff now. I'm flabbergasted. Anyway, good luck to you. Bye.